Hey everybody, it's Wayne coming at you with a dividend haul for the month of November 2023. In these dividend updates, I break all the dividend income that I received for the month, both in M1 as well as Robinhood. Let's go ahead and kick things off with M1. You can see the current portfolio sitting at just above 158,000. I had a rather fantastic month, as the title of the video says. In totality, I received an increase in year-to-year dividend income of over 115%. So let's go ahead and break down all of the dividends that I received in M1, and things kicked off for me with CEQP. If you guys didn't know, CEQP was recently acquired by Energy Transfer. So this will be the last time you see any type of dividend payments or distributions from CEQP. Going forward, those payouts will be from Energy Transfer, stock ticker ET. Now, JetQ is one of my favorite monthly pairs, and I have held on to this well over a year. And in fact, at one point, I had both JetB as well as JetQ. Now, I did decide to let go of JetB, and ultimately, I didn't like to have that many stocks that have a variable dividend. However, JetQ has really been a standout in my portfolio. Let's go ahead and take a look here at my ETF slice. And you will see here JetQ doing rather well for the 101 shares that I own. My cost basis is $40.70. Not bad considering the current share price is just around $49. If we go over to track your dividends, take a look here. JetQ is projected to earn me about $530 on an annual basis. That puts my yield on cost considerably higher than the current dividend yield. In fact, my yield on cost is almost 2-3 points higher than that 10.90%. Let's go ahead and take a look here at NASDAQ's dividend history for JetQ, and you will see things admittedly weren't looking too good from June to August. But then in September, things got back on track. And since September, all of the monthly distributions have been over 40 cents, to include December, which is going to be a forthcoming dividend I'm going to receive as well. So I, again, am rather happy, not only with their monthly distribution, but also how I'm doing in the stock itself. Lowe's paid me out 14 cents. This is going to be coupled with its big brother right here for $12.84. Lowe's is going to be a position that I'm holding in my long-term slice. So expect to see more dividends in 2024 as I slowly build my Lowe's position. EPD paid me out $31.41. ADC, which is a position that I'm actually slowly building up on the Robinhood side of things. So expect to see a dividend from ADC, not only in M1, but also in Robinhood. Speaking of dividends to be received in both of my brokerages, you can certainly expect to see Realty Income paying out distributions / dividends, not only in M1, but more in the Robinhood, in which I own more shares. Again, this past month, we've also seen a nice share price increase from Realty Income, which is a relief for me because I'll be honest, I am upside down in that position, but it's one of the few positions in which I don't lose any sleep at night, even though I'm currently upside down. And in fact, on the Robinhood side, every single monthly dividend that I receive, I reinvest it right back into Realty Income. Main Street Capital, you guys are picking up on a theme of monthly pairs. Again, paying me out $24.32. You can also expect to see a smaller position that I'm working on building up on the Robinhood as well. Maine also is expected to pay out a special dividend here in the month of December. So for December's total dividend haul, you guys can expect to see at least 2 payments per brokerage for Main Street Capital. Stag is another monthly pair, paying me out $51.88. AbbVie, which is also going to be in my long-term slice, paying me out $21.82. Horizon Technology, let's go ahead and pair up this 6 cents payment with its big brother here for $73.37. Horizon has also been one of my consistent monthly pairs. However, not too much on the growth side, but rather consistent on the monthly dividends / distributions. Procter & Gamble, stock ticker PG, paid me out $14.56. This is also a position that I'm going to be continuing to build up into 2024, as it is a stock in my long-term slice. Speaking of long-term slice, Caterpillar was also recently added to my long-term slice, and they paid me out $11.41. HTGC, which has been a fantastic income generator for me, paid me out $18.70 plus the $93.52. Let's go to track your dividends and type in HTGC and see how much annual income I can expect to receive from my nearly 234 shares. You guys can see I am just slightly up. Cost basis on those 233 shares is $15.36. Current share price, $15.40. So I'm slightly up. But more importantly, it's generating about $375 on an annual basis. I will certainly take it. Moving on to Devo. This is going to be a monthly income ETF pair, and I have recently been slowly building up this Devo position. In fact, when I sold out of a couple of positions here in the last month, I took a fair share of that cash and I dumped it right back into Devo. So this number has been slowly going up month to month, and this month they paid me out $15.26. Glad, also a monthly pair, paying me out $17.60. ABR paying me out a very cool $92.14. Let's go to track your dividends and type in ABR. Let's see how my total position looks. I own 214 shares. Now my average cost on those 214 shares is $12.85, which is good because the current share price around $13.86. Take a look here, guys, at my yield on cost. That's the exciting number here. 13.39%, which is definitely higher than the current yield of 12.41%. Of course, earning me about $370 on an annual basis. I will certainly take it. BST, which is BlackRock's Science and Technology Trust. This is also a position that I have been slowly building up. I really like this consistent cash flow that BST has been able to generate, and it would not surprise me if I do my best to beef up this position, although it is not in the long-term slice. So there you have it. In the month of November, in M1, I received a total of 18 dividend/distribution payouts. We're going to go ahead and get you a grand total after we first show you everything that I received from Robinhood. Okay, moving over to Robinhood, things kicked off for me on the first of the month, in which I received $61.09 from CVS. If we expand on this, you guys will see that I own 100 shares. Now, admittedly, guys, I am bag holding on CVS. One of the silver linings, though, is I have been able to sell pretty consistently covered calls throughout the year. So I'm down on my CVS position. I'd like to break even and ultimately walk away from CVS, but I'm not going to sell out of it until I at least break even. The real question will be, do I count the dividends as breaking even or not? You guys will have to remain tuned in as to what I decide, but for right now, pretty happy with that quarterly payment of $61. I mentioned this before, I am actively building up my Agree Realty position. Now, you saw the dividend payment here in M1. I am also building up shares, and currently, guys, I am daily cost averaging just $10 every single day, but hey, $50 a week, it certainly adds up. And for this month, on the 3.63 shares, I earned a total of 90 cents. But again, look for this number to go up as I am daily cost averaging. You also saw a dividend payment from O Realty Income on the M1 side. Here is the payment on Robinhood's side, $63.41. Now take a look here. That's based on 247 shares. If we go back to track your dividends and we look at both portfolios, you will see here the total number of shares that I own of O is just over 515 shares. That's generated me about $1,500 in yearly income from O Realty Income, but admittedly, I am down rather significantly, so I'm really hoping in 2024 O comes back to its levels of above $60, as my current average cost is around $58.95. Taking a look here at Main Street Capital, paying me out $2.35 for the 10 shares that I own on the Robinhood side. I mentioned this earlier because I also hold them in M1 as well. I'd really like to reach 100 total shares of Main Street Capital. One of the nice things I've been able to do throughout the year is generate some pretty significant premium, both selling cash secured puts as well as covered calls. Let's go and take a look here at Main Street Capital. Current share price is $41.85. Now, my average cost for those 10 shares is at $39.78. I would be willing to buy the additional 90 shares to get me up to an even 100. If Main falls down to either $39, maybe a little bit more. But for right now, we've seen a pretty good run up this last week, as well as the last month. So I'm going to go ahead and be patient and not pull the trigger on those 90 additional shares. But that's okay, because the $2.35 that I did receive, that money is being reinvested. Now, I mentioned last month that I sold out of nearly all of my Yield Max monthly ETF pairs. Apple is going to be the exception. So Yield Max Apple Income Strategy ETF is stock ticker APLY, paying me out $17.34. Let's go ahead and take a look here at NASDAQ's website, and I'm going to go ahead and type in the stock ticker. And if I'm not mistaken, this dividend or distribution was cut rather significantly, and they haven't updated it yet on the website. But yeah, you can see in October I received nearly 48 cents per share. Holy smokes, that is way down considering what I received of just 17 cents per share. So I'm going to keep my eye on Apple, and I think a lot of us are beginning to realize that the Yield Max funds, for the most part, are certified yield trap. Speaking of Apple stock, this is the true dividend from the Apple stock, $48.19. This is rather fantastic. I own 200 shares. Let's go ahead and take a look here at track your dividends, and I want to go ahead and type in here the stock ticker for Apple, which is AAPL. And you'll see on those 200 shares, my cost basis is just fantastic. There's no other way to say it. Nearly $136 per share. I own 200 shares. Currently, the share price is going for nearly $190. That means I have about $10,700 in unrealized profit, not to mention receiving about $195 in annual income. Moving on to Costco, in which I was paid out $18.60 for the 18.23 shares that I own. Now, Costco is a position that I am daily cost averaging. In fact, I recently increased it from $20 to $40 to now $50 every single day, Monday through Friday. This is one of those positions where I don't think we're going to see much of a discount. If we look at year to date on Costco, boy, you're going to see from the research, they've had an incredible run up for the year. And so it's one of those things where if I had waited to buy at a certain price point, I don't think I would have been able to snag any shares at the price that I would like to buy it for. So in this situation, daily cost averaging has been the best solution for me. Starbucks paid me out $57.69 for the 101 shares that I own. I was paid out 57 cents per share. Let's go to track your dividends and put in that stock ticker of SBUX. You will see on those 101 shares. Once again, I'd like to think I've got a pretty good average cost of $78.84 per share. Currently, Starbucks trading for just under $100. That means I've got about $1,900 in unrealized gains, not to mention receiving about $230 every single year of dividend income. I think Starbucks is going to continue to be a real winner for me. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments. How many number of shares of Starbucks do you own in your portfolio? I'd love to hear from you. Leave it down here in the comments. Now, SPHD is a position that I sold out of in the M1 portfolio last month, but I still have 100 shares in my Robinhood. Now, this month in Robinhood, I received $16.45. Let's go ahead and take a look here at SPHD. Again, for those 100 shares, yeah, I'm down significantly. Take a look here. My average cost is $46.57. Now, although SPHD in the last 2 weeks or so has seen a slow and steady increase, I am still down significantly. So in addition to selling covered calls as well as collecting those monthly distributions, I'm going to hold on to SPHD until at the very least I can break even. And so it is nice in the meantime. I am receiving about $200 in yearly dividend income. Let's go and take a look here at LTC Properties, also going to be a monthly pair, and they paid me out $19. LTC Properties has also been a position that I have been able to sell consistent covered calls, making some pretty good cash flow. And so I don't know that I'm going to hold LTC for the long term, but in the meantime, it's nice to collect that monthly consistent payment. of 19 cents per share. And so we'll see how long I'm able to do that before I sell out for either a profit or even breaking even. All right, moving on to the last two payments in my Robinhood account. UPS paid me out $164.84. Now, for the 101 shares that I own, they paid me out $1.62 per share. Let's go to track your dividends and take a look here at the annual income that I can expect to receive going forward. And it's just under $667. So currently the share price is at $155.92. If we take a look here at Seeking Alpha, though, in the last month, though, they have had a nice little climb of nearly 10%. I would really like this momentum to continue because as it gets closer to my cost basis, I'm not only going to be able to collect those quarterly dividends, but also sell, hopefully, weekly covered calls to generate some even more cash flow. And the last dividend that I received in Robinhood was from SVOL, S-V-O-L, and they paid me out for my 300 shares, 30 cents per. That's a total of $90. Once again, let's go back over here to track your dividends. And if we type in SVOL, you will see that I am just about at the break-even point. My average cost is $22.86. Currently, the share price is just 20 cents shy of that. But take a look here at the annual income that I can expect to receive in the upcoming year, just over $1,000. And so SVOL has been a very nice position in my Robinhood. I am taking that monthly cash flow and I'm using that to daily cost average in other quality stocks. So there you have it for Robinhood. Those are all of the dividends that I received in the month of November. And as a matter of fact, I received a total of 12 dividends from Robinhood. That means in total, the month of November, I received a grand whopping total of 30 total dividends. Let's go ahead and bring over the portfolio. So before we get you a grand total on how much I earned in the month of November of this year, let's go ahead and take a look here at November of 2022. I earned $556.58, as the title of this video states. I earned 115% more than what I made in 2022. And here you have it. The grand total for November of this month was $1,200.91. Again, a quick recap. In Robinhood, I earned $559 for those 12 dividend payments. Earning more in the M1 portfolio, $641.05, and that was for those 18 payments. Once again, a grand total of $1,200.91. So let's go ahead and populate this month's number and see if the monthly average has changed any much, and it hasn't really. Currently at $1,212. Now, I'm comfortable with that number, but admittedly, for me to make my $15,000 a year goal, that number will need to crawl its way up to $1,250. But I gotta tell you, I feel rather confident that I'm going to be able to get there. Take a look here. December of 2022, I earned $2,087. In reality, for me to reach my goal of $15K for this year, I only need to make about $1,600. I think that is totally doable. And so I'm excited, not to mention, typically in December, we see a lot of those special dividend payments. So hopefully those will even bring me up, maybe even shattering the record, which is currently held by September of 2023, in which I had a record month of dividend income totaling $2,105.09. I hope you guys enjoyed this dividend haul. I'd love to hear back from you. How did your November look? And even more importantly, how do your goals look as we come into the last month of 2023? Be sure that you guys are liking, subscribing, leaving a comment. I always get back to anybody who leaves me any type of feedback here on my videos. I certainly appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much.